Okay, so you've got artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. You hear these words thrown around everywhere, right? But what is the real difference between them? Is it all just buzz? Well, let's spend the next few minutes clearing up what might be one of the biggest points of confusion in tech today.
Look, if you've heard these terms used like they're the same thing, you're definitely not alone. But the truth is, they're not. And figuring out how they're different is the key to really understanding the technology that's, well, quietly reshaping our entire world. I promise, by the end of this, you'll see exactly how it all fits together.
The secret to getting this isn't some super complex technical definition. It's actually a really simple image: Russian nesting dolls. AI, that's the biggest, outermost doll. You open it up, and inside you find machine learning. And then you open that one, and you get to the smallest, but maybe the most powerful one: deep learning. So let's open them up one by one.
All right, let's start with that big outer shell, the one that holds everything else. Let's talk about artificial intelligence.
You can just think of AI as the ultimate umbrella term. Seriously, it covers any technique that lets a computer mimic human-like intelligence. This could be anything from basic problem solving to really complex reasoning. It's the original, kind of grand idea of simply making machines smart.
And here's the first really important thing to get. Not all AI actually learns. A lot of the early AI was just based on rules. Think of an old chess program that had thousands of moves programmed right into it. Or even the ghosts in Pac-Man. They seem smart, but they're just following a really complicated set of if this, then that instructions that a human wrote. They're executing orders, not learning from experience.
So if that first kind of AI is just following orders, what happens when we want the machine to start figuring things out on its own? Well, that brings us to the next doll in our set: machine learning.
This definition is from all the way back in 1959, but it's still one of the best. Machine learning is a subset of AI, and it's the part where we stop programming every single rule. Instead of giving the computer all the answers, we give it the ability to find the answers itself, just by learning from data.
And this is the huge shift in thinking. On the left, with that traditional AI, humans write all the rules. But on the right, with machine learning, we just feed the machine tons and tons of data, and it figures out the patterns and the logic all by itself. I mean, that's the part that's so revolutionary.
Now, inside machine learning, you've got three main ways of doing things. There's supervised learning, which is kind of like using flashcards with a student. You show it data that's already labeled, like a million pictures all labeled cat. Then you have unsupervised learning, which is more like being a detective. It has to sift through a mess of unlabeled data to find hidden patterns on its own. And finally, reinforcement learning, which is basically like training a dog. It learns by trial and error, getting rewards for good choices and penalties for bad ones.
And you use this stuff every single day. Your spam filter is the absolute perfect example. Nobody programmed it with a giant dictionary of spam words. Nope. It learned what spam looks like by watching which emails you mark as junk. It's learning directly from your actions.
Okay, it's time. Let's get to that innermost doll, the one that's really behind all the craziest breakthroughs we're seeing right now: deep learning.
So, deep learning is a very specific and very, very powerful type of machine learning. Its secret weapon? Something called an artificial neural network, which is just a really complex system that's designed to work a bit like the interconnected neurons in our own brains.
So why do they call it deep?
Well, it's actually not as mysterious as it sounds. It literally just refers to the depth of that neural network. How many layers of these artificial neurons are stacked on top of each other? And the basic idea is the more layers you have, the more complex and abstract the patterns it can learn from the data. This whole process is what makes deep learning so incredible. A programmer doesn't have to sit down and try to define what makes a cat look like a cat. The network learns it automatically. The first layer might just see basic things, like edges and colors. The next layer combines those into simple shapes. The layer after that might recognize textures or maybe eyes. And then finally, that top layer puts it all together and forms a high-level idea. Yep, that's a cat. And because it learns in this layered way, deep learning is amazing at handling messy, unstructured data. Things like images, audio, and plain old text. This is the engine that's powering facial recognition, the voice recognition in your smart speaker, and the crazy advanced language skills of today's chatbots. Okay, let's put our nesting dolls back together one last time and see how it all clicks into place.
So here we are, right back where we started, but hopefully it all makes sense now. Deep learning is a type of machine learning, and machine learning is a type of AI. Just remember this: all deep learning is machine learning, but not all machine learning is deep learning.
This table breaks it down perfectly. Just look at the progression. AI is the big idea. ML is the subset that learns from data. Think Netflix figuring out what movie you'd like. And DL is the super specialized part that uses those deep neural networks and needs massive amounts of data for really tough jobs, like letting a self-driving car see the road.
So, why does any of this matter? Because this isn't some far-off science fiction. You are interacting with every single one of these technologies every single day.
Just think about it for a second. The movie recommendations you get, that's machine learning. Talking to your virtual assistant, that's deep learning processing your voice. Chatbots, spam filters, fraud alerts, the facial recognition that unlocks your phone, it's all powered by this nested family of tech. It's completely woven into the fabric of your life.
So, we've gone from building machines that just follow our rules to building machines that learn their own rules just by watching us. They learn from our data, from our choices, from our behaviors. Which, leaves us with one final and pretty huge question. As these systems get smarter and smarter, what exactly should we be teaching them next?